So folks, what we're going to do today is set up an inlets tunnel. And the reason we do this is because we want to share some work with a client. And in the example blog that we're looking at today, I have a Node.js application for you. Now I happen to have Node.js installed already, and it's a sort of a classic sort of example that you would have as perhaps as a freelancer. The simple way of starting this is npm start or npm install followed by start, and it's going to run with Express.js, which is a little HTTP server. Okay, so I actually have that port in use. What I can do is, perhaps you might have a clash as well. This is a good example, is this takes an override on a port. So let's just try that instead. Port equals, let's try, I don't know, 8081. There we are. And so now I can open up that. I can see this website as a freelancer, let's say. I can then go and maybe look at editing some of this code, reloading it. All of these routes are defined in the routes folder. And so we've got a H3 here, which is quite small text. Maybe we think the client might want to see it a bit bigger. What we can do is edit that, restart the server, and we get our slightly bigger text. Now this is great when we're working on our own, but what if we actually want to share this now? Well, that's where we can actually go ahead and use inlets. Inlets is a HTTP tunnel. In order to use it, we need a cloud access token. And what I did earlier is I went into my DigitalOcean dashboard and I created a personal access token and I saved it as a file. Now mine isn't in that location right now, mine's in a slightly different one, but for the sake of the post, I'm going to copy it to that location. Obviously I won't show you what is in that is secret. And then I want to install inlets CTL. Now the CTL is actually a utility that can set up a cloud host for us very, very quickly, and then it will start inlets on the server for us. So we've actually got two different binaries there, and inlets CTL comes with something that will download the inlets client for us. That's what we run on our computer. So perhaps I need to run that as sudo. Okay, great. Now if I run inlets version, I've got inlets on my computer. We can see that it actually has a client and a server component. We run the client on our computer and the server will run on the machine that gets provisioned. Now these machines that we've chosen, we can provide them into several different clouds, including DigitalOcean. Scaleway is an option, Packet, even AWS, and they cost around $5 a month if you run it full time, and you may not be running it full time. You may just open it up as you need it. One of my friends, he runs it just to share the progress he's made on a website, and then he'll delete his tunnel. So really he's only getting billed for a short amount of time. Now, I do think this is probably one of the fastest clouds to provision a host. DigitalOcean probably can take around 10-20 seconds, and then we're pretty much ready to go. I mean, in the time that it took me to say that, we've now got the output from the client. The parts that we get are a server, and this server gets created and is pre-installed with the inlets server. That is yours. It's in your complete control. You can delete it if you want. You can create as many as you like. Each one will cost you around $5. And if you like, you could even use one of these and run several tunnels on there. We also have an authentication token, and that's used by the client, as you can see in this command, to connect in. And we've got this upstream value. Now we need to change that, and you'll see in the blog post that I changed it to 8080, but in this instance, because I already had something running there, we're going to go to 8081 and then run the rest of the command. Inlets client is connected to the server, and that IP address is actually where we would now go. And there we go. I'm on the internet and I'm connected to this public IP, is going through that DigitalOcean box, which happens to be provisioned in London. You can customize the region when you do the create command. If you wanted Frankfurt, I think we have West Coast and East Coast available as well. And that's it. If I Control C, my tunnel goes away. If I run my client again, my tunnel's back up again. Now you may want a custom domain. I do find this quite useful. You can do this in your dashboard, but I also have the DigitalOcean CLI, and what I can do is go test, or let's say client1.myfaz.club IP address, compute domain create, and now that domain will point at my IP address. Simply that fast, and we can now share the client their own domain. We can even use that URL in our Inlets client command if we don't want to remember the IP address. And so as long as we have that up and running, we're pretty much good to go. We can disconnect, reconnect. I can share this pretty URL with whoever I like, and I don't have to pay really for the benefit of that. This is all free apart from running the exit server. Now at the end of this, you might be like, okay, well, I don't need that for another couple of weeks. So you may decide to delete your tunnel. And just as we had the output earlier for the create command, we can also run the delete. And then I want my access token file again. And we see within a couple of seconds that will remove the host, and then we're done. So we started off with nothing. We ran a local server. We've then, and I can even cancel that local server now. We got the cloud host up. We've deployed an Inlets tunnel automatically. We connected to it in the time that's taken to talk through this video. If you want to find out more and try it for yourself, Inlets Pro is very easy to use, but we could always use more feedback and enhancements. So head over to the GitHub project, put a star on it, tell us what you want to see next, and thanks for listening.